Well, welcome to today's devotional. And as you, would have seen from yesterday's devotional, if you took opportunity to watch it, we're going to be looking at the Song of Songs. And I'm going to actually take the rest of this week to talk about four different themes or four different aspects to this book that's an interesting one. I'll admit, I remember as a junior higher in church during the service, yes, sitting with some of my friends, and we were kind of tittering and giggling over some of the text because, it's a topic that maybe sometimes is surprising, at least for some people, sometimes to find what's in the Bible and what's in this book. But again, I want to look at four different themes over these next 4 days in no particular order. In fact, some of them kind of interweave. So I'm not going to do chapters 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. I want to encourage you to do one of two things. Either read parts of the book through the week, maybe 2 chapters a day, you'll get through it once, or 4 chapters a day and you can read it twice, or go the whole 8 yards. Not 9 yards, it's only 8 chapters, and read this book once a day as kind of as you're listening to this, and just be thinking about the themes and maybe what else that you're seeing in this Song of Songs, what at least the greatest of songs, which it sounds odd to us, so it kind of loses something in translation there, but the themes that are here are incredible. The first thing we want to look at today is just that love is a gift from God. Love is more than just who God is. Love is what God invites us to live in and to live out. I mean, we're made in his image. And so because of that, an aspect of our image bearing, of reflecting who God is we reflect his love as we live in his love. And again, I want to just define love here is love is seeking the best for another. So there can be a healthy self-love where you're seeking your best, but when it becomes at the expense of someone else, or at least unwillingly at their expense, where you're requiring someone to sacrifice for you unfairly, that becomes unloving. But a healthy self-love is seeking the best. A healthy love is a love for others, seeking their best. And so that's where, again, self-sacrifice comes in. And that's what we see in God. God is someone who there's healthy love within the Trinity, and it's a self-sacrificial love as well for those that God has made in his image. Love and relationships are two of the most basic human experiences. And that includes, not always, but very often it includes physical, including sexual love. God made sex. We shouldn't be embarrassed about that. We shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about that. That comes from some cultural things. Our culture's kind of gone even kind of the other way of not failing to be embarrassed about it by celebrating certain aspects about physical sexual love that just are meant to be kind of contained, are meant to have boundaries put around them. And I'll actually talk a little bit about the power of love tomorrow's devotional. But just for right now, I mean, the metaphors in this song, again, they're not visual, they're emotive, they're meant to kind of, there's thoughts that kind of go behind them. But at the core of love is this desire to know and to be known, to know another being, to know another person and be known by them. And so when you fall in love with someone, you are drawn to who they are. You want to know them more and you want to be known by them. You want to reveal yourself to them and you want them to reveal themselves to you. And again, that can be just simply relationally in terms of who they are, their past, like as a friend. But when it comes to, as we see in this poem, Song of Songs, two lovers, there's a physical, there's a sexual revealing and intimacy that's desired. And that's part of how God has made us. And notice here too that this poem is open-ended. We don't see the end of the story. And that's like love as well. It's like God's love for us. It's open-ended. There's an eternity that God is seeking to dwell among his people, where we will know him and be known by him, where we will get to know and find out more about the story of what God has done as we interact in the new heaven and new earth. All the people who have welcomed the life and the love of God into their lives. And we find out God's story through them even more to greater detail. Or just think of, for those of us who are married, a healthy marriage always has an increasing knowledge of the other person we've married. One person, something I read, that when they talk to newly married couples or at a wedding ceremony, may talk about like you were marrying a stranger. They may be your best friend, but you haven't even begun to get to know who they are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But you've committed yourself to a relationship where you're going to walk together to get to know the good and the bad, the ugly, committed to them, seeking their best. And so Song of Songs, celebrates that love is a gift from God. And we can celebrate that too in all of its healthy forms. Again, encourage you just to read and reflect this letter, this poem. And again, if there's any questions or thoughts that you just want to pass on, feel free to get a hold of me at the church, ggessler@outlook.com. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. And today, may you know his peace. God bless.